Welcome to another episode of Come Let Us Reason Together. We telecast under the name of BS Bible Study with Deb. You're welcome to today's Bible study, and today I'll try not to, interrupt too much with the Bible. We shall just be looking at 5 female characters, because I've done a tape previously where I said in biblical genealogy, the ladies are hardly mentioned unless, there was something good or sometimes something bad. Then they are mentioned, or they're evil, like Jezebel and so on. Then they are mentioned, but they are often there. Today we'll look at Tamar, okay? The wife of Onan, who was the first son of Judah. Remember that the lineage of Judah, according to the prophecy given by their father Jacob, was that the scepter shall never depart from his house, and the rod shall not leave his thighs. So anyway, Judah left his people, went and was living with some Moabites and Canaanites. So he met a lady, he married her, and she gave him 3 sons, okay? So this lady that he married passed away and left him with the 3 sons. Now, the first son married a lady called Tamar. Now, he died. And by the customs of the days, if your brother dies without having a heir, is a son or whatever, you are to go into his wife and help him produce a heir, a child, okay? And even though you donated, but that child will be counted as your brother's. That's just the way they did it. So so he died, and then his brother was meant to go and fulfill that role. But for some weird, strange reason, the brother refused to, fulfill it in the nice way that's been recommended. So God killed him too. So Judah was left with the 3rd one, and he now feared that 3rd one was going to die too. And he told the lady, look, he's too young to, be a father, whatnot. Go back to your people. When he's old enough, I will send for you, and you'll, come and carry on where we stopped. Time went by, and the boy grew up. She was not called, nothing was happening, and the mourning period for Judah, for his wife, had ended. So he went out on the town with his friends to have a nice time. So Tamar was told that, Judah was going to maybe a nearby town. I'm sure that town generally, they worship Asherah, because a mention was made of prostitutes. And if you know biblical history, in the shrine of Asherah, there's, prostitution of all kinds. I'm not going to go into it. So anyhow, she disguised herself, dressed as a prostitute, and went and sat by the city gate. So here comes Judah along, and, one thing led to another, and he went into her, supposing she was a prostitute, but, clearly she wasn't. So they did what they needed to do, and when he wanted to pay, she asked for his signet ring and his staff as surety or collateral, so that the following day he'll come back and pay. So the following day he came back to the spot where he found her by the city gate, and started asking the people, oh, where is the prostitute that I saw here like yesterday? And they were like, prostitute? What are you talking about, prostitute? There's never been any prostitutes in that place as far as we know. So anyway, he was baffled, but he went home, and he rubbed it like pomade, like my people will say. His signet ring gone and his staff gone. So, like my people will say, Akwana Atashi, like, every day the sun rises and sets, rises and sets. It was discovered that she was pregnant, and the law of the land was that, if you're pregnant, not with your husband, there was serious capital punishment. So they brought her out to Georgia, as people do. And before the judgment, she said, let's that, the owner of this ring, which she showed the elders, this ring and this staff, he is responsible for this pregnancy. And immediately Judah recognized his ring and his staff, and thank goodness he fessed up and said, oh, I am in the wrong. I have wronged you. We had an agreement for you to come back and be the wife of my youngest son, so that, through him, you will produce a heir for the first two. But be that as it may, I accept responsibility, and so on and so forth. So, she went ahead to give birth to twins. One was Zerah and the other one was Perez. And if you trace the lineage of Perez, it went on and on and on and on and on. And it linked up with Salmon, it linked up with Ruth. Remember Ruth from that the land of Moab that returned with Naomi, and so on. It linked up, and the genealogy fathered Obed, who fathered Jesse, who fathered David, and the lineage of David went on to produce the Messiah. Yep, the lineage of David went on to produce the Messiah, because when Mary was told, you're pregnant with child. So anyway, Mary was from a priestly family in Bethlehem, and Elizabeth, her cousin, was the wife of Zechariah, who was the chief priest at the time. So there you are. That's how the Lord has turned a situation that otherwise would be nasty, embarrassing, and terrible. And he made a course correction, even though man failed. But because the Lord has made a promise, he finds a way to keep that promise. Thank you for listening.